Okay, there you go. Hello, hello. Can you find, ladies and gentlemen? It's pretty much only gentlemen, but can you guys hear me? Okay, I think everything should be good. Okay, perfect. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Okay. So, I hope you're all doing all right. Yo, yo, yo. I'm so happy to have finally fucking fixed these bugs, man. Holy shit. That I think that thing was so like heavy on my mind that it like tired me out so much that like last night I think I slept like 10 hours or more. And when I woke up this morning I was still tired. It's crazy. Um but yeah. So, let's continue where we left off yesterday. So, um, we got the tower projectiles working. We fixed the bugs with the enemy pathing. We uh, technically are able to place the towers and everything, but there's a slight bug where the towers don't seem to be detecting every single different type of. So let's put some towers here, right? Like that. There you go. Let's put a few more here. There you go. So as we can see, the towers are technically working, right? But as you can see, they never lose track of their targets, regardless of how far the targets are, right? And so this clearly shows that there's a problem with the way we've done the tower detection. There's like a bug going on with regards to how they detect, because even once the target is outside of their range, it disappears. Like they're still following it, and they don't detect new targets basically. So let me just select, I don't know, like a random tower. Yeah, okay, so that's what I thought. Current target enemy, boom. Okay. So after yesterday's stream, I already kind of had an idea of like what the problem probably was. And I think it has something to do with the way we've coded the tower detection manager, in the sense that, because like obviously the bug is somewhere around here. What I just said is really fucking stupid, because it's like, where else could it be? But the idea is rather that we, okay, boom, F, okay, so the idea is that this, once it's given a value, it never gets updated again, even after the enemy dies, right? So number of enemies, this frame, yeah, this works. Yeah, if it's greater than this, the moment there's at least one enemy in the level, check to see if it's a valid target. Yep. Is not null. Check. Okay, so here we had the old code. Okay. So here first, okay, before we even do this code here, I'm gonna add another section where what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to track the current target, right? So let's start with it. So basically track the current target enemy and reset it if it's outside of the det range or det radius. Okay, there you go. There you go. And now here we're just gonna do this. We're just gonna copy paste. Oops. We're gonna copy paste this. Check to see if is still within detection range and detection radius. So this here. Yep. Direction to target, distance to enemy, to target enemy. Yeah. If. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create a temporary boolean. Oh, Jesus Christ. There you go. Come on. Stupid. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we're gonna do a temporary boolean called current target is in is still valid bool. Again, I know my names are a bit convoluted, so but I'd rather have them be a little too convoluted than a little too simplistic, right? So yeah, so current target is still valid boolean, right? So if this, right? So then check to see if the current target enemy is within detection radius, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If this, then still valid equals true. Okay. And now, once we're done with this, what I'm going to do is, hold on, I'm actually going to create it right before. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, if still valid is true, is false rather, if it's false, if the current target enemy object is no longer valid, reset it. And then we're just gonna do this equals null, right? So now it's completely reset, right? And now here I'm gonna do, I guess, if target enemy is null, then I'm thinking, okay, yeah, because this was outside. Okay. Then I'm thinking that I will copy paste all of this, and then this I'm just gonna delete. Fucking okay, there you go. At least there are names that remind you. Well, exactly, right? Because sometimes I see certain names that are just so vague. Like, yes, they're super short, but they are so vague that I'm like, okay, what are you referring to, right? Because sometimes and when you look at a lot of Unity tutorials online, the people for the tutorial, they name their variables. How can I say? Like, they give them super simplistic names that work for the specific tutorial that they're making, but those names are so generic that they would never be able to work in a real game project, right? Well, I'm gonna write down a bunch of random variables, right? So let's say vector 3 target position equals new vector 3 let's say I don't know, target enemy object dot transform dot position. Let's say, right? Something like that. Does not contain construction. New vector 3. Fuck. How did you? Vector 3 equals. Okay, yeah. Sure. Like that, right? So let's say target position. Boolean can attack enemy. Boom. I don't know. Integer player HP. Boom. Right? Like just some really generic ass like names that like names for variables that you're like, okay, yeah, this could work for a basic tutorial, but in a real game context, like it's not really gonna do it. You know what I mean? So because it doesn't really mean anything, right? So basically the idea is here in this function we create a temporary variable because we only need it inside of this function, right? So current target is still valid bool. For now it's false. And now we're doing track the current target enemy and reset it if it's outside of the detection range or detection radius, right? So because it's either or, but so basically what this means, even though I wrote it here either or, what it really means is that it needs to be inside both of these, right? So remember yesterday the drawing that I did, right? Hold on. Like this, right? And then I have, let's say the line like that, right? Meaning that it needs to stay somewhere around here, right? Nope. Somewhere around here, basically, right? So this is what we're looking for, you know? Yeah. There you go, like that, right? This is what we're looking for here. And so we first, you know, like just the same thing we did here, right? We check what's the vector, right? The direction in which the enemy is, right? Follow, then we find the magnitude, which when you take a vector 3 dot magnitude, it gives you like the length of the vector 3, let's say. And then we do, okay, is the distance lower or equal to the detection range? Yes. If so, then check if it's within the angle, right? So now we've determined it's somewhere around here, but it might be here, it might be here, or it might be here, right? So the idea is check to make sure it's right here. Oh, and if it is, only then does this become true, right? At which point, if it's true, nothing changes. If it is false, right, then we reset this. And if this has no value, then boom, we do this, right? Now let's see if this alone is going to fix it. For whatever reason, I feel like it won't fix the problem, but maybe I've just spent too much time on my own game not being able to fix a bug. So now I'm like, now I have like PTSD or some shit, right? Okay, so actually, hold on, let's pause. Okay, I'm gonna drop a tower here. Okay, now let's select our first tower. And let's look at here. It has no target enemy object, right? I'm gonna drop more towers. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's switching enemies. But So okay, so it switched enemies once or twice, but now it's not really doing it anymore. Okay, interesting. So why is it not happening? Am I getting errors in the console? No, I'm not. I'm not getting, and now none of them are doing anything. Okay, interesting. So does it for whatever reason? So see, now it happened even faster than before based on the changes I did, right? Huh. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay. Okay. So, okay, so this clearly did not fix the problem. Let's instead of this, hold on, let's make this into a real prefab here. Oops. Public bool equals false. There you go. Yeah, and now here we're just going to do it like that. Okay, there you go. Okay. Hey, hello Zeno. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so let's just take a quick peek. Let's select this. Okay, current target is still valid, is false. Okay, let's fix this. Okay, so we have selected this one, right? So right now it has an enemy, which is this. Yeah, but it's not update. Okay, now it updated. Now it updated again. Okay, and now there's nothing. Okay, now there's a new one. Okay, now there's nothing. Huh. Okay, but see, like these ones here. Huh. Like they're just not getting detected. Okay, now some of them are. What? Okay. Yeah, this changes nothing. Okay, let me just see game manager. Oh, I get it. Okay, hold on. I get it. Okay, I get it. I see what the problem is. Okay. So the problem is that every time an enemy is spawned, right? It is added to this list, right? But then, as I said, this was causing problems for all of my towers because if this for loop here, right, was based on this here, this reference, this direct reference to the all enemies list dot count, right? It was gonna bug, right? Because while the loop is going, the list is getting like incremented, right? We're constantly adding new enemies. The problem is that I never created the code for what happens when an enemy dies, which means that that this loop here is like not working basically, right? So what I'm going to do now is let's just take this in my enemy TD, start private game manager there you go, this game manager, boom, right here, right? And now what I'm gonna do is in destroy, so whenever HP reaches 0, before we destroy, we're gonna do game manager td dot enemies list dot remove this dot game object. So what this is gonna do, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've had to write the code to remove something from a list, but if I remember correctly, what this does is we access the list here, and with the remove function or whatever is in the parentheses is the reference, like it's gonna find automatically wherever this thing is, and it's gonna remove it, right? Alt O, no, yeah, it's not. Okay, whatever. Okay. So now, just with this tiny line of code here, let's see if, because if you remember correctly, every time one of them died, hold on, actually, let's remove the fix temporarily, just so that I show properly, because like, I looked at it very quickly, I saw what the error was, and I immediately like stopped, but now I'm really gonna make more of an effort to show where this is, right? There you go. Okay, there you go. So see, it's already showing a bunch of missing ones, right? Missing game object, missing, so on and so forth, right? There you go. Yeah, so missing, a bunch of them are missing. So this is what's causing like a lot of the problems, right? So now let's just add this line of code back in, and hopefully now it should be working fine. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna make a wall of turrets. There you go. So now any second now they should start appearing. Yep. See? No more missing ones. And now in theory, yep. Now they're properly updating. Pew pew. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so now it's pretty much working as intended. Yep. Good shit, good shit. Perfect. There you go. Amazing. All right. Now let's see, are we gonna have another time elapsed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I haven't put in code that's going to make us move to the next waves, but that's fine. Okay. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add some more code to create constraints for the deployment or like the placement of the towers, right? Because can you repeat the last minute? The stream stopped from shit. Okay. Okay. So basically, by adding this line here, right? So hold on. Did you? Well, actually, I'm just gonna repeat everything just to be sure, right? So basically, by adding this line here, right? What's gonna happen is that before, like right before an enemy dies, it's going to remove itself from the list, right? And because here we're not using a direct reference to the list, but rather a reference to a snapshot of the list during the frame where this code is executed, right? It's not going to basically the tower is not gonna miss. No error stands in Randy's path. Yeah. So basically there aren't gonna be any errors, right? So let me just remove this to show you once again what the bug was, right? Game manager here. There you go. Game manager. Okay. Just gonna pop a shit ton of towers. Okay, like that. So now it's trying to spawn a bunch of enemies, right? And now, see, they're starting to go missing, right? There you go, boom, boom, boom. And now eventually they're gonna like be in like they're gonna lose track of all of their, yeah, see? Now they've kind of like lost track of their targets and stuff, and slowly but surely fewer and fewer towers are gonna shoot until pretty much none of them shoot, which is kind of what's happening here. See? There you go, right? And that's because of the missing elements here in the list, which cause bugs, right? That, like, it's not supposed to be that. So by just adding this here, right? Just by adding this line here, we're able to fix this, because then right before dying, right before removing themselves from the game, the enemies are gonna remove themselves from the list before they disappear, right? So we're not gonna end up having like missing game object or whatever, you know? There you go. There you go. So now, yeah, enemies are missing that. Yep. But now, if you look, my towers are constantly switching targets, right? Like there are no problems anymore. Like if we look here, enemy red clone, enemy green clone, enemy yellow clone, etc., right? Like you can see everything's working as intended, basically. You know? There you go. Perfect. Okay. So, hold on. Yeah. So now with this in mind, let's create code that's going to prevent us from stacking towers, right? Because as of right now, if I press play, see, right now I have a bunch of towers all on top of each other, right? Like here, right? I'm gonna spam it, and now you're gonna see them shoot like crazy beasts. See? Right? Like I can like stack my towers like that. See? I'm like stacking them all on top of each other. There you go. See? So obviously that's imbalanced, and like it doesn't really look good either, right? We don't necessarily want that, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a very simple script, or not script, but like I'm gonna add some code that's going to basically prevent the player from being able to put down a tower if it's in the same space as another tower, basically, right? So save. Let's go into our prefabs, tower defense prefabs. Boom, boom, boom. Like that. Right here. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a box collider. We're gonna make it trigger. Then here we're gonna do a rigid body. And again, this is just one way of doing things. Like these things can be done in any manner of ways, right? But the general idea is that this is how we want to do them, or not we want to do them, but this is how I do them, right? This is how I would go about making such a mechanic. And so now what we're gonna do is very simple. We're gonna do a tag. Save. Okay, the tag is tower. Right, we're gonna go into the prefabs. We're gonna select all 4 of our tower prefabs. We're gonna give them the tower. Actually, okay, hold on. Add tag. We're gonna remove this tag. We're gonna add a new one. And we're gonna call it tower TD, just because why not? Yeah, tower TD. Perfect. Okay. There you go. There you go. And now, what we are going to do is here in our placements here, is trigger rigid body. No, don't use gravity. Okay. And now, okay, so yeah, okay, now we're gonna have to create a new script. Script, tower defense, tower placement, yeah, tower placement. We're gonna call it that. Okay, let's minimize this. Okay, so now, where was it? Player manager tower defense, can place tower equals true, etc, etc. Okay. Okay. So now, where was it? It was tower placement. Tower placement. We're gonna do variables for interacting with other scripts. Player manager TD. Wait, no. Private player manager TD. This player manager TD script. Oh shit. Fuck. Fuck! God. Jesus. Okay, there you go. Okay, this blah blah blah. This player manager script equals player manager TD dot instance blah blah blah. Okay, perfect. And now, literally, all we're gonna do is this, right? Like, this is how simple this script is, right? Like, there are no other variables, nothing else. There's nothing even in the void update. All we're gonna do is on trigger enter, right? Or on, not on trigger enter. Hold on. On trigger stay. So on trigger stay is as long as uh, the placement object is going to be colliding in any way, shape, or form with another trigger, right? So they're like basically they're both occupying the same space, even it's like one tiny pixel where they're like connecting with one another. This is gonna be true, right? And now here, what we're gonna do is let's just copy paste this as a reference. Oh, okay, we said tower TD. So all we're gonna do here is prevent player from placing a tower, a new tower. Okay, so we're gonna go player, so this player manager script, no. So if this player manager script dot bool dot can place tower bool equals true, then this player dot can place tower equals false. There you go. We erase all this because we don't need it. Okay, so the idea is, let's go back to the player manager tower defense can place boolean, because here we have a bunch of other booleans for like the camera movement and stuff. We're not talking about these. We're only talking about this, the tower placement, like can place tower boolean. When this is true, tower placement manager, which is here, which is where it's how the player hold on, the placement tower, blah blah blah. Okay, hold on. Is active self, blah blah blah. Okay, so wait, let's go back here. Let me just check to make sure that the code is correct. Okay, yeah. Can place, okay, place current tower. Okay, there you go. Okay. Now this makes sense. Yeah. So again, like the moment can place tower equals is true. If the player left clicks, then they're gonna place a tower, right? Which here all it does is instantiate a tower, right? Well, what the script that I just wrote does is basically here in tower placement, the moment like as long as it's colliding with at least one tower TD, like one object that has this tag, right? And if the can place tower boolean is true, then it's automatically becoming false, right? So let's see what the result of that is gonna be. Hold on. Game manager, player manager. Let's see where, okay, can place tower, right? So here, as we can see right now, it's true, right? The moment the mouse is gonna get off of one of the placement areas, it's false, right? It's true, it's false, right here. This boolean here, right? So now I'm gonna place, let's say, here, since it's closer to the screen, I'm gonna place a tower here, right? And now, as we can see, it's still true, right? Like that. And then, hold on. Oh, it's not. Oh, wait. Holy shit, I'm so stupid. Again, like the number of times I've forgotten to do this is insane. Like I create the script and then I just never implement it. Hold on. Tower placement. There you go. Boom. Oh my god, I'm so like, and I've been coding for like more than 5 years and I still make these rookie mistakes, right? So it's just always keep in mind that this can happen, right? Okay. So let's just, okay. So as I was saying, here, let's put a tower here, right? Now we can see the Boolean is true, right? And then, what the fuck, bitch? Well, okay, so it's not working. I can still stack them. That's not good. Okay, so now I'm gonna need to make, okay, interesting. Interesting. So why is it not working? Where was it? It was tower placement. Yep. On trigger state. On trigger state, it's called once per frame for every collider other that is touching the trigger. Yeah. Let's go back into my prefabs just to make sure that all of my prefabs are correct. Tower TD, that's the tag. Box collider size 11111. Sizes, okay, so all the sizes are good. It's not using gravity, so that's good, right? And then these ones here, tower placement script. Tower placement, trigger, enter. Okay, hold on. I want to see something. Because what might be happening is that this line here is getting overridden by, wait, player management. Let's look at all of the instances we have of this. If, okay, hold on, no. Let's go into the recast manager. Yeah, it might basically be getting overridden by this, basically, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add another Boolean here, which is gonna be public Boolean towers overlapping bool. Okay, there you go. Towers overlapping bool. Okay. So now I'm gonna go into tower placement, and here towers overlapping Boolean. If it's false, then it becomes true, right? Else allow player to place a new tower. Okay. Okay. So the code that I added, right, is basically as long as this is touching, is like colliding with another object called tower TD. That's it's not called that, but that's the tag that's given to it, right? It's gonna check, are towers overlapping? If not, then say that they are, right? And then here otherwise, right? If towers are overlapping, right? Or actually, else if towers are overlapping. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave it like this. It might also cause a bug, cause like an override of something else, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm gonna leave it like that. But the idea is, otherwise, like if it's not colliding with another object with tower TD, it's just gonna say that there are no overlaps, basically, right? So for now, we're gonna leave it like that, right? And then in our raycast manager here, I'm gonna add another if statement, which is gonna be if this player manager td dot overlap equals false. So this is currently false, then boom, this is gonna happen, right? There you go, like that. Okay. Oh, is my stream still buffering? Let me know, guys, if my stream is still fucking up and like buffering and stuff. Okay. There you go. There you go. All right. So for now, this is how I'm gonna do it. And then this here, else if, yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's go back to tower placement. Let's see, is this good? Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, for now we're gonna leave it like that. I might still need to add a few more lines of code, but it might be working. I'm not 100% sure, right? So here, boom, can place a tower. Let's see. Okay, I've placed the tower. Okay, it's still not. It's still not detecting that they are overlapping, which is weird. Hold on. Does this have tower TD? Yeah. This here, box collider is trigger. Yeah, so it should be working, right? Okay, let me just add public bool is overlapping bool false. It's true. There you go. Okay. It might, the issue might be with the untrigger stay itself. I'm not 100% sure, but at this point, it's kind of what I'm wondering. So let's see. Yeah, okay. It's clearly not detecting anything. Okay. So I think I see what the problem is. It's on trigger enter. Wait. There you go. On trigger. Okay. On trigger enter. We're gonna do this. Prevent player from placing a tower. Like that. And then on trigger exit, let's see. It's gonna be allow player. So now the problem with this, oh well, hold on. Actually, no. Actually, I think this is gonna be fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hold on. So now let's just turn off this code like that. Okay. I feel like it's still not gonna work. not sure why. Okay. Yeah, no, it's just not. What? Wait, what? Hold on. What the hell is going on now? I can't place any more towers. What the hell? Placement. Okay, so it did. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna look at it here. Okay. Okay, is overlapping, is not, is, but I can still, oh. Okay, hold on. I'm so stupid. Okay. So it is detecting the overlap, but it's not, is overlapping. Okay, hold on, recast. So if is overlapping, so it's not, yeah, is overlapping false, which means that it's not overlapping. Towers aren't overlapping. And can place tower is false, then this becomes true, right? So now let's put in my player TD here. Can place tower. Okay, I just realized what I did. Oh my god. Okay. So this is a good example of like a circular logic that like stumbles on itself. Okay, so let me explain. The way I've coded it so far, right, is that with the raycast, right, like we cast the raycast the moment it detects that we're on the placement area. It's gonna say that can place tower is true, and so then it's gonna move current placement area object. Well, it's gonna detect it, blah 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 blah, and placement indicator object dot transform dot position. Okay, so that's the sphere that shows us where our stuff is. But then here in the tower placement manager function, when this is true, right, it's gonna move these things, right? Okay. But the problem, the reason why it like disappeared and whatever, right? The problem is that the way I coded the tower placement is to, or rather the way I coded the raycast manager is that we need to not have any overlap for the can place tower boolean to be true, right? So this basically causes a problem because the moment it detects that there's overlap, right, then this becomes true, which means that this becomes false, right? Which means that at that point the placement disappears forever, basically, right? So that's why it was disappearing, and that's why I could no longer place towers, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a third boolean, right? That's not going to be can place tower, it's going to be something else. Let's name it. It's going to be public bool update tower placement. This updates. This is used to show where the next tower placement is. So update new tower placement. Towers overlapping boolean, can't place tower. Okay, there you go. So now what I'm gonna do is update new tower. Okay, so hold on. Actually, I'm just gonna name it new tower placement boolean, right? Okay, new tower placement boolean, this like that, and then can place tower is true, then place tower. Okay, so now, yeah, okay, perfect. So now we're gonna go into our raycast manager, and what we're gonna do is new tower placement boolean is false, make it true. False. Boom, there you go. Okay. Okay, yeah, now we're gonna remove this because this is no longer, hold on, let me just, like that. Okay, so now this is back to how it used to work. Okay, now here, what we're gonna do is, if is overlapping is false, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. And now I'm gonna go into the player tower defense manager, right? Tower placement manager, boom. And the first thing I'm gonna say is, yeah. So then see if player can place a tower during this frame. So now I'm gonna say if is overlapping towers overlapping boolean is false. Or no. So if, Jesus, bro, this is so chaotic. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for how chaotic this is. So if new tower placement boolean is true and overlapping is false, then we're gonna say can place tower boolean is true. Otherwise, it's false, right? So now let's recap from start to finish, right? The idea is when the player has the raycast and the raycast is on a placement area, if the new tower placement boolean is false, make it true, then blah, 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 you know, showcase the visuals, etc., etc. And the same thing is happening here, right? Here is where like the visuals are happening, like the blue transparent cube, the green transparent cube, whatever, right? Like the future tower placement is basically, right? So this is when that happens, right? And then if the raycast is not detecting a placement area, but the new tower placement is true, then put it to false and reset tower placement, right? And so the bug that was happening is that reset tower placement was constantly going off, basically. So that's why I could no longer place a tower anywhere, is what's happening, right? So then, here the tower placement script is attached to each transparent like tower placement visual, right? And the idea is simple. Basically, if it collides with a tower TD, with like an object that has the tower TD tag, then is overlapping is true. Well, this I wrote it just for us, but like we don't really need it anymore. So boom, there you go, like that, right? Yeah. and yeah, so as I was saying, it's gonna tell the player manager TD script that towers are overlapping only if it's not telling it already, right? And then vice versa. The moment it exits, it's gonna tell it this, right? So now, let's say towers are overlapping. So now, hold on. Let's go back to the player manager. So in the same script where it's doing the tower placement, after having updated the tower placement, it's gonna check, is new tower placement true? Obviously it is, otherwise this wouldn't be happening, right? Hold on. New tower placement bool is true. There you go. Yeah, so technically speaking, this is kind of redundant because if this was false, then we wouldn't even get here. So technically I can just remove this, right? And here we can just check, like, towers overlapping bool. If it's false, then yeah, we can place a tower. If it's true, otherwise if it's true, so let's say else if overlapping is true, right, then this is false. There you go, right? So now in theory, hopefully it should be working. Okay. So let's see. Looks like it should. All right, hold on. So now, okay, interesting. Can place tower. So here, okay. See, okay, so now I can't anymore. But now I can. There you go. Okay. Okay, interesting. Now, a weird thing that I saw. Hold on, let me check again. Right? Okay, so can place tower is false. Right? Because I'm not, like, my mouse is not on any of the placement areas. And now the moment my mouse is gonna go on this placement area, it's gonna turn true, right? Okay. But then the moment it goes out, it stays true. And so now, despite my mouse being in like nowhere, if I press left click, it's gonna spawn a tower. Now, if I press left click again, and also I just moved my mouse wheel just to change so that we have different colors. If I press left click again, see? Okay. So the bug is not fully see? But this is why you need to be eagle-eyed, right? Like, you need to pay attention, and the only way you can properly pay attention to these types of, like, very pernicious bugs is if you know your code, right? So the point is, everything you code, you need to code it with a specific purpose in mind, and you need to really keep track. Basically, it's like your brain is a giant library, right? Your brain is a massive library where, like an archive of every single script you've made for your game, how every single thing works, and most importantly, how it should work, right? So that way, the moment you implement something, you can immediately know, like, wait a minute, that's not how it's supposed to look, right? But the only way to get to that point is to experiment, right? To code and create stuff in Unity, for instance, or any other game engine, but in our situation, we're talking about Unity, right? The solution is to know your code and to have done enough experimenting where you know how certain things are supposed to look, right? Welcome back, Red Herring. You basically missed me fixing the whole code. So I'm just gonna fix one last bug, and then I'm gonna go over everything you missed, just as a nice recap, basically. I'm not gonna go as much into detail as I did while I was doing it, but I'm gonna explain to you the general idea, right? So right now, let me just press play to show you. I managed to get the thing working, right? To get the thing working, like let's say I put a tower here, and now I try to put another tower. I'm spamming left click, it's not working, right? But then if I put it here, now I can. You see? Now here's a bug that's happening, right? I'm gonna remove my mouse from this. I'm gonna press left click, and the tower is gonna appear. Now I'm gonna press left click again, and see a bunch of other towers. There you go. So now I can technically still stack my towers, right? There you go. Okay. So now let's fix this bug, and then I'm gonna show you how I fixed, how I managed to create the constraints, the movement constraints. So now the idea basically is that the moment the player removes from the raycast doesn't detect the placement area anymore, it doesn't reset the can't place tower boolean, right? Because, and the reason why it's not, how can I say, the reason why it's not resetting this back to false is because this whole function only happens when this is true, but this can only be true while the mouse is on a placement area, right? So instead, all I'm gonna do is just do this, right? Like that. And then I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna erase all of this. We're gonna go down here. And now here, I'm gonna do like that. Oh, hold on. If like that. So then like that. There you go. Like that. And then here we're gonna add this backup. Like that. There you go. There you go. Right? And then and now here we can just erase this and do else. Boom. So now hopefully it should be working fine, right? So now I'm spamming left click, nothing's appearing. I press this. I'm spamming. Oh, there you go. Spamming. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. It shouldn't have. Okay, interesting. Hold on. Let's see again. It should not have been able to work. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Okay, interesting. Huh. Oh, okay, no, I know why. I know why this is happening. Okay. And this is why I didn't want to do it with trigger enter or trigger exit. Does every tower have different colliders? Yes, every tower has different colliders, and so that's why. And that's why I wanted to do it with trigger on stay. And trigger on stay probably works, right? It's just that I thought this was the problem. Trigger on stay was the problem when in fact it was like the raycast and everything else, right? So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna remove this like that. And now what we're gonna do is this. that. Yep. There you go. Now let's remove all of this. Okay. No, not else if. That's stupid. Else, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so now let's do this like that. Okay. Hopefully this should work. Let's see. Okay, well now it's just letting me spam like crazy. Okay, cool. Amazing. This is garbage. Hold on. So private void on trigger. Okay, so I guess on trigger stay really doesn't want to fucking work, does it? This is such a mess. Oh no, wait. Okay. I know the solution. The solution. Okay. What I'm gonna do here is simple. We're gonna go into the player manager tower defense, right? And now what all I'm gonna do here is public integer number of overlapping towers equals 0. Okay. And now here in my tower placement thingy, what I'm gonna do is if, what the fuck, bitch? Okay, if number of overlapping towers is greater than 0 and overlapping boolean is false, then overlapping boolean is true. Else if number of overlapping towers is lower or equal to 0 and overlapping boolean is true, then there you go. And now the reason why I add these ones here, right? These two additional conditions is to just prevent this from it's just a tiny optimization to prevent this from constantly being reset, right? Because the idea is if the if statement here was only this, right? Like whenever the number of overlapping towers is greater than 0, this becomes true. Then even if it's already true, right? It's still gonna change its value to true, right? Which is, again, like it's a very tiny, almost inconsequential optimization. But the idea is to like optimize things even when optimizing them is not gonna have like the biggest effect ever. Do it anyway, just as a good habit. You know what I mean? That's kind of the mentality. That's the idea, right, behind this, right? And now here in my tower placement, all I'm gonna do is this. It's every time you enter this placement, number of overlapping towers plus 1, and then every time you exit, hold on, like that. There you go. We're gonna do -1. Simple. So now every time you the placement object is going to enter a collision with a tower, it's gonna detect that it has entered it, right? And then every time it's gonna every time it's gonna exit, it's gonna detect it. Now there's once again a potential bug, right? Because let me show you. Also, let me know if the video, like, if the stream once again is fucking up. Okay, let me just drink a bit. So now the issue is very simple, okay? The issue is that each tower placement here has its own box collider, right? Which is really, how can I say, it's really impractical, because remember, the way I've coded it is that when we switch towers, let's say we switch from the blue tower to the red, the blue tower gets deactivated and the red one gets activated, right? And so basically what happens is, well, actually, let's see it in action. Let's confirm if the bug actually happens, right? Instead of speaking in abstract terms and theoreticals and whatever, right? So let's say I'm gonna place a tower here, right? Now, here, look at this number here, right? Oh, +1, -1, +1, -1, right? Should the towers have tags or not? The towers already have tags. It's the placement that doesn't have a tag, right? So just look at this, right? The placement object, which is like the transparent red one, right? Here, that we have here. The moment it collides, here it detects, right? Number of overlapping towers, 1. The moment it exits, it's 0, right? What happens if I enter, right? Like 1, and then switch? Oh, 2. So now when I exit, it still thinks there's 1. You see what I mean? So now I still can't place a tower, right? Now if I switch here again with the same that already entered, right? Oh, now it counts as 2. Now 3, now 4, now 5, now, see? Boom, 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 boom. Right? And now I'm never gonna, like, it's impossible for me to exit, right? So you see this issue. So now what I'm gonna do is, here we have our placement indicator, right? Which here, as we can see, it has a trigger. Well, it has a collider trigger. We're gonna give it a rigid body. Use gravity, no thank you. And then we're gonna add, oh fuck's sake. Close this. Then we're gonna, no. We're gonna add a tower placement. Okay, there you go. Okay, tower placement, there you go. We're gonna give it a tower placement script. We're gonna take all of these and remove the tower placement script from them, right? And then we're just gonna move them as children of the placement indicator, you know? So now if we go back here, boom, boom, boom. Now let's put a tower up, right? Now 1, -1, +1, -1, +1. Oh, look, it stays +1. No matter how many times I change, it stays +1. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. Problem solved. Problem fucking solved, gentlemen. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay, so let me recap for red herring what I did. Okay. To just really quickly explain, but I'm gonna go a bit faster, so like I guess you'll have to rewatch the VOD, right? But basically the general idea is whenever the raycast was detecting a placement area, before it wasn't this boolean, it was another boolean called can place tower boolean. It became true, which meant that we were allowed to place towers, right? And then the moment it's not detecting a placement area, it became false, which meant like reset tower placement, which prevented us from being able to place towers, right? But because of this, it meant that we could stack our towers, right? So what I did was I created the tower placement script here, which, as you can see, it detects the number of overlapping towers. And the idea is it updates this variable directly inside of the player manager script, right? Which is this one here. And here I added these three variables, right, to this. And all I'm doing is I'm running the tower placement manager every frame. And in it, it's if new tower placement bool is true, meaning that the raycast manager here has detected a placement area, then new tower placement boolean is true, right? Otherwise, it's false, reset tower placement, yada, 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 right? But when it's true, we're going to go into the player manager script. Now, when it's true, we're gonna activate whichever one is supposed to be activated, and then we're gonna move it based on the placement indicator object, blah blah blah, right? And then we're gonna check, is the number of overlapping towers greater than 0, and is overlapping boolean false, then make it true. If the number of overlapping towers is at or below 0, but we still think that the towers are overlapping, then reset it to make sure that the towers aren't overlapping anymore. And lastly, so hold on, here I'm gonna say update towers overlapping, status, right? And again, this mechanic here, I'm technically making it for a tower defense game, but once we're done with the tower defense, once we're done with the tower defense prototype, and we start working on the city builder prototype, right? A lot of this code is just going to get reused because it's the exact same principle, right? And so the idea is, once we've updated the tower overlapping status, right? We're going to come here and we're going to check, is new tower placement boolean equals true, which means that by definition, this can only be true when the mouse is on top of a placement area, right? So this basically means that we're on top of a placement area. And this means that our tower placement is not currently overlapping with another tower, right? It means that, yes, we can, in fact, place a new tower, basically. Can place new tower boolean. There you go. Okay. So now, would that be the same if you go over 2 or more towers? Yep, it would be the same. Let me just show you. Hold on, save. Because since each tower has its own collider, but only the placement indicator, there's only one placement indicator, right? So let me show you here. We're going to put the tower here. We're going to put another tower here, right? Now let's go into the, hold on, like that. 1, 0, plus 1, minus 1. Plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1. And then, boom, plus 2. See? Plus 1, plus 2, minus 1, minus 1. See? Boom. So now I can't place it. I still can't place it. Oh, now I can. Now here, oh look, it's plus 3. Boom. See? Amazing. There you go. So now the last thing I'm gonna do, it's gonna be incredibly straightforward. And I'm probably, we'll see. Let's see how long this takes us. If it doesn't take that long, I'm gonna continue the stream a bit. But the thing is, the way I like structuring my things, and I've probably mentioned this already, I don't remember anymore. But the idea is, I go in terms of tasks, right? Like I want to accomplish X number of tasks per stream, and so uh, if let's say I have 6 tasks I want to do, and I manage to do 5 out of 6, and let's say we have maybe half an hour left. Well, we don't have half an hour left. In theory, these streams could this could be a 10-hour stream in theory, right? But the point is that, like, let's say I've already been, like, right now I've been streaming for an hour and a half, right? Let's say I want to do 2 more tasks. One of them is going to take me 45 minutes, or maybe both of them they're each going to take me 45 minutes each. Well, I'm probably only going to do one of these 2 tasks and then move the next task for next stream. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I like doing things. And it just so happens that most of the time, it takes me about 2.5 hours to do all the tasks that I would ideally like to do, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a failed state, right? So a way for the player to lose the game, right? And ideally, I would like to have to start showing you guys how to do UI, but if I have time to start doing the UI, it's gonna be very fucking basic, right? It's gonna be the most basic shit you'll have ever seen, right? And so that's why I'm kind of reticent to start UI today, and I would rather start UI next week, basically. But for now, we're gonna keep it like this, right? And now what I'm gonna do is if you say so. Listen, Silver Sterling. It's because I don't want to half-ass things, and so if I were to start showing you guys UI, it would take like at least another hour or two, right? And the thing is, I actually have to get going this afternoon, right? Because my sister's hosting a barbecue at her place, so you know. And in this economy in Canada in 2025, I'm not gonna say no to some free food, if you know what I mean. All right. So, okay, so let's make it as simple as possible, right? We're gonna create, no, we're gonna create, no, bitch. Okay, hold on, create 3D object, cube, and we're gonna call it, oh, and that tower bug was tricky. Yeah. So we're gonna call it holy shit. Why am I blanking out on the name? Fuck. What could I call it? Come on, chat. Okay, hold on. Kingdom Rush. How to play. Beginner's Guide. So, I want to give you some props, general tips. Okay, so my god. Fuck. Okay, hold on. Images. Okay. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about, okay? Fuck. This is a shitty image. God damn it. Fuck! This is an even shittier image. Oh my god. Ah, fuck. Oh yeah, the tire switching back. Oh Jesus, this Chinese person. No, I'm not gonna fucking. Jesus. Okay. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, help me out, chat. Okay, help me out. I'm looking for a word. Okay. So again, like the tower defense game that I'm currently making is heavily inspired from the Kingdom Rush series, right? And now, if you look, you see this here. This is the area that I have to defend, basically, right here, right? Jesus, no, it's not. Hold on, I actually have an idea. Hold on. Upgrades. Yeah, no, okay. I'm gonna have to go into the other Kingdom Rush. Vengeance. Okay. Come on. Oh, this one doesn't even have any sound. That's crazy. Okay. Hold on. Like, this is how much of a, like, stickler and, like, perfectionist I am. Okay, upgrades. Where is it? Okay. Replace the flags on each exit with deadly... Okay, well, there you go. Okay. So that's the term they're using, exit. Okay, so that's the term I'm going to be using. That's it. All of this was just to figure out the word exit. I'm such a fucking retard. Alright, so we're going to call it... blah, blah. Exit zone. Jesus Christ. Alright. Oh, jeez. Alright, so... Here, what we're gonna do is... Let's say minus 25. 0. Here we're gonna do 20. No. 1. Do 25. Minus 5. Okay. Assets, prefabs. No. Materials. Transparent. White. Wait. Is it actually transparent? Damn. Wow. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna actually... Hold on. Transparent magenta. Let's go. Let's go with that. Transparent magenta. Transparent material. There you go. Nice. A nice zesty magenta. All right, there you go. Okay. Also, I might be doing like some casual streams either on this channel or on my personal channel eventually. I couldn't say if it's gonna be in a week or in a month or whatever. And so in general, what games would you guys be interested in watching me play? But it has to be games that I would also be interested in. So stuff like DMC and whatever, I'm never gonna play those games ever. I'm just not interested, right? But like games like Space Marine 2, PS1 and PS2 games. Jesus. Well, that's all of them, so good luck with that, right? Oh, hold on. Okay, so now we're gonna do this. Triggered. Okay. Oh fuck. All right. Okay, so now script tower defense, and here I'm gonna create a new script which is gonna be it's gonna be exit zone. Oops. Exit zone. Let's say. Right? Certainly will look you up with a good. Okay, we'll hook you up. How about Command and Conquer? The only one I played was Red Alert 2 on my grandparents' old computer in Bulgaria, which still had like Windows 90 something. I forget which one. Hold on. Windows 95 was it? Yeah, bro. That computer had the good old Windows 95, and guess what? That motherfucking computer still works to this day. And it runs StarCraft 1, Quake, uh, Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, and a bunch of other of these old games like I think not the first, but I think Mortal Kombat 2, something like that. Like it had a bunch of old games that my cousin had pirated. Bro, I remember. Oh, those were the days, man. Wow, the good old days. Okay, so here we have an exit zone. Technically, I've created this, right? But I don't actually need it, right? Instead, what I'm gonna do is here, do I have the game TD manager, blah, blah, blah. Okay, perfect. Game TD manager. It's gonna be red enemy value, blue enemy value, red enemy, blue enemy. Green, yellow. There you go. Hold on. Ah, no. Yellow. Yarrow. Okay. There you go, there you go, there you go. Perfect. And now, all I'm gonna do is on trigger enter, blah, blah, blah. Whenever an enemy collides with the exit zone, make the player lose a life. Oh my god. There you go. Else if, no, not else if, because these might happen at the same time. Other dot compare tag, exit zone. Okay, there you go. I started with DOS and Lost Vikings. Damn. I think the first video game I ever played was StarCraft 1. It might be why I love strategy games. Well, honestly, what do you want to play? That'll be the best choice in the long run. Could play Total War Warhammer 3 co-op, but actually just make racist and sexist choices. we could. But that's the thing, because ideally, I would like to play a game with you guys, right? Because I feel like that would be more fun, right? Mechabellum is a game I love, but it can get really repetitive really quickly, and it's kind of the type of game that I play for like when I want to turn my brain off. What cool games could we all play together? Well, hold on. Let me finish this, and then we're gonna think about that for a second. Okay, so. Okay, so whenever an enemy collides with the exit zone, make the player lose a life. Yep. Okay, so. Oh fuck. Hold on. First, I need to go into the game TD manager, enemy variables, header, core gameplay variables. Yes, very good. Yes, public integer, max player lives equals -1, and then public int current player lives equals 0. Current player lives equals max player lives. Bada bing, bada boom. And then, and then, I'm simply gonna do enemy TD game TD manager dot current player lives minus equals final, this enemy final value. Boom, there you go. So now it's really simple. Once, hold on. Let's do this. Let's add a tag called exit zone. Exit zone. There you go. Let's click this. Exit zone. So this is how easy it is to make a fail state, right? Let's say the player is going to start with 20 lives, right? And now let's say, oh wait, no, that's the, hold on, let's go into the prefabs. Wait, oh, never mind. My enemies are not prefabs. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. Base value 1, red enemy is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, right? Because red looks like the most menacing, so let's say red is like the one that does the most damage, whatever, right? The idea is, whenever, hold on, we've saved everything. All right, perfect. Okay. Now let me just pop a bunch of towers. Now placement actually matters because I can't stack them anymore. Fuck. Like that. Okay. Blast them. Okay. So you see, current player lives, boom. And I'm almost dead, and I'm dead. There you go. See? So now, literally, all you need to do is create a function that's gonna say, like, I don't know, when you create it inside the, what's it called? Inside the game tower defense manager, right? And like you create a function called, let's say, public void game over, right? I don't know, let's say this, and this code makes all enemies stop moving and all towers stop shooting, and shows UI to player that will say no, and shows game over screen, let's say, right? Jesus. You couldn't stop the invasion. You should rename exit zone to Jesus. Hold on. There you go. There you go. Okay, I'm just gonna bring it back because it's getting warm. Alright. Okay. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so again, like at this point, I could show you guys this, right? I guess I've only been streaming for 1 hour 45, so let me show you some very basic UI, right? By the way, I fucking hate UI. I hate having to deal with UI. I fucking hate it. Okay. Jesus, bro, this is pain in the ass. Okay. No. Okay. Empty object. Spawners. Parent object. What? Okay. Boom, like that. Pathing. Parent object. There you go, just to make some more room. And now here I'm gonna say, oh wait, no. Well, yeah, actually. UI parent object. And now here, okay, you right click. Like you usually do, right? Like you right click to create some sort of object. And here, if you look, oh, there's UI, right? Before you click any of these, okay? Before you click any of these, you're gonna go down here and click canvas, okay? And if you haven't noticed, it created an event system, right? So actually, hold on, let's erase both of these. Let's just right click in the void here, UI canvas, and just call it canvas, whatever. And then put both of these inside UI parent object, right? And then everything that's inside of the canvas is going to be in the UI, right? So this is why I have two scene views. Hold on, there you go. Because I like to have one built around the canvas, right? So do you see how zoomed out I am? Like my whole scene is right here. This tiny little thing, right? That's my scene view, or rather that's my scene, and this is the canvas, right? And then here you can see a bunch of info, like is it screen space overlay, screen space camera, blah blah blah. I think I always leave it an overlay, but I'm not sure. Again, like UI is the type of thing that I avoid touching unless I absolutely have to, because I fucking hate UI, right? And now display 1, 2, 3, blah, blah. I just leave it at 1. You know, UI scale mode, constant pixel size, scale with screen, constant physical size. I think I put it at scale. Yeah, I put it at scale with screen size. And then here I just do your typical 1920 by 1080. Match width / height. Let's put it at 0.5. Just solid even. Okay. And now what we're going to do here, okay, is right click on canvas to create a child object. Go into UI, right? And let's say we want an image, right? So game over image, right? hold on. So let me actually ask ChatGPT to make me create an image. Make me a game over like image for a video. Whoops, video game. Okay. Okay, there you go. So now we're just gonna wait. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna return in a couple of minutes. And now here, source image, as you can see, you can have sprite, right? But again, like you're immediately gonna see why UI is its own entire thing, right? We're gonna check this once the image is done. While we wait, I'm gonna show you another thing, which is a button, Text Mesh Pro. Oh Jesus, yeah. TMP, Text Mesh Pro. Text Mesh Pro is basically a tool that it's free. It comes with Unity. Yeah, no, we don't need the templates or examples or whatever. That allows you to make cool, what do you call it? It allows you to make cool, like fonts and other like writing and stuff, right? So let me just show you here. If you look, here you have like the middle, center, etc. You can change it, and depending on where you change it, the position values are going to change, but its position on the canvas is not going to change, right? So right now it's centered at the middle. If I put it bottom right, see now all of a sudden this changed, right? But it changed because it's because its center is now here. You see this type of X here? If I change it to top right, see now the X is top right. Now it changed once again. I'm going to change it to center right. Now the X is here. And change it to center left, bottom left, bottom right, top left, I mean, center, top center, bottom center, center, right? And now I'm just gonna move my button down, right? Let's make it larger here. There you go, like a large button. There you go. And now normal color. See, I can change the color of the button. Let's make it a menstrual red. I think that could be cool. Highlight color. Let's make it. I don't know. Cyan or something, right? Okay. So now let's look. Let's press play. See? So now it's cyan when it's highlighted and it's normal color. See? Boom. Yeah, this is already quite painful on the eyes, right? And now here's a cool thing, right? So let's go back to our scripts. Let's go into our player manager, whatever. So let's just copy one of these lines, right? And let's say here, let's do a void button clicked. Let's call it that, and then debug log, say fuck you bitch. There you go. Okay. All right. If I click here, if I come here and see you have this on click thing, you press plus once, and now here you need to link an object to it, right? So let's link the game manager, right? And now here you can access any of its components. You can access its transform, its the actual game object, or its game TD manager script directly. And now here we can look at all of the different what are they called? The different functions, right? And now as you can see, I don't have the button clicked function anywhere. I have the game over function, but I don't have the button clicked function, right? And the reason for that is that it's not public, right? So here, if I do this, hold on, let's say game over, right? And now let's erase this, right? Like that. I can smell DI in this game. Okay, hold on, like that. Oh, okay. Button. Here we have our game manager object selected. Game over. Boom. So now, let me save. And now let's look. Oh, fuck. Just hit my leg. My foot, I mean. Okay. So now let's go into the console. Hold on. And now if I press it, see game over. Game over, game over, game over, game over, game over, game over, game over. See? Okay, there you go. Okay. Right? Like that. So now let's see if it's done with the image. All right. That'll work. All right, live streams. Let's see. Game over. All right. Okay, perfect. So now let's see here, like that. Okay, let's close this, right? Now let's go back to here, our scene. Let's select our image. Let's go here. And now let's create a new folder and we're gonna call it UI. Here, let's create another subfolder. We're gonna call it images. Here, and now I'm gonna drag and drop my game over, right? Big Red, you died. Yeah, all right. Now, if in theory, I should be able to, okay, there you go, to just drag and drop this, but you see it's not letting me, right? Like no matter how hard I try, right? Like I'm gonna try to drop it, I can't, right? Why is that? It's because of the texture type. You need to change it to sprite, 2D, and GUI. Sprite mode, multiple I think is good. Yeah, this is also fine. I think this should be good, or there might be some more changes, but for now, yeah, save. There you go. Okay, and now let's see. Okay, now it's still not allowing us, and it's because no, it's not filter mode. It's not point. Oh, I always forget. Oh, to the sprite package. That might be it. The sprite editor window is not available. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's what's missing. Because I probably have this installed, the sprite package. I probably have it installed on my my real game project. And aha, there we go. Okay. Okay. So now hopefully it should be fine. Hopefully. Oh, fuck no. Okay. All right, hold on. Okay. Okay, so I just imported a PNG image in my Unity project. I changed it to a sprite, but I still can't drag and drop it into my my image UI object. Why is that? Okay. Checklist to fix texture type not applied. Yeah, yes, for this we already applied. Wrong drag location. You're trying to drag it onto the image game object in the scene or hierarchy rather than the image component source image field. Select your image in the inspector. Yeah, well, that's what I did, bitch. UI image is using a different image type. If your image component is set to something like tiled, but your sprite doesn't support tiling, e.g. not set as multiple, it may silently reject it. Sprite import settings are incompatible. Some settings like compression, alpha, or import mode might cause weird behavior. Double check, blah, blah, blah. Project, fuck's sake. Okay, hold on. Because I remember it was something. Put the texture alpha. None. Okay. Apply. Do you guys start to understand why I fucking hate UI? Are you starting to understand? That's me, bitch. Red herring. That's me. That's my name. I thought your name started with H. No, my last name starts with H. My first name starts with S. Hold on. Let me know what you're seeing exactly, and I can give more targeted help. Silent Hill. Fuck. Okay, hold on. Like maybe a month ago, I had the exact same fucking problem. VFX particle, tilted moon, orbit, map boundaries. No. Zip and share. No. How to resize your artboard. No. Okay. Start. Okay. Use a built-in sprite. At the Unity logo. Okay, hold on. Pinch sprite and sprite reference. Oh, okay, yeah, that. Oh my god, yeah. It should auto create a new canvas and image using the sprite if it. Okay, hold on. Full rect. So in the inspector. What's it saying? Hold on. In the inspector, type this. Yes, sprite mode single. Okay. Then mesh type. Where does it say mesh type? Full rect. Okay. Aha. Okay. There you go. Now it's working. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm gonna. I fucking hate UI. This is why I fucking hate it. Oh my god. Whoo. Okay, so now let's just increase the size of this. Let's say Let's do a fat game over. Like that. Alright. There you go. Beautiful. Okay. Let's do a fat fucking game over. Okay. And now let's go into our script here. And let's simply say header. Eventually I'm going to have a UI manager script, but for now we're keeping things simple. UI variables. There you go. Public game object. Game over image object. And then public game object. Game or restart button object, let's say, right? And now here at the start, we're gonna do game over image object dot set active false, and then we're gonna do button object. Yeah, there you go, same thing. And then whenever game over happens, so if, again, we're gonna keep it simple, current player lives is lower or equal to 0. Hold on. And game over dot active self equals false. Then we're gonna do both of these. True. True. There you go. Keep it simple and stupid. Pretend the game has restarted. There you go. All right. Okay. Boom. There you go. So, yeah, well, there you go. So hopefully we're gonna survive. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Rip. There you go. Game over. And now if I click on this button here, pretend the game has restarted. There you go. So that's the tower defense. The lighting's, well, yeah, the lighting's fucked up because of this fucking thing, right? If I were to turn it off, boom, now it's all normal again. So yeah, so that's the tower defense done, kind of. I could obviously add more stuff, but it's like it's nothing new we haven't seen, right? Like, we've seen AI pathing, we've seen a bunch of other stuff, right? Hold on, let me just erase this. All right, this, there you go. Okay, so yeah, this is how can I say? This is where I am so far with this, right? Do you guys wanna keep messing around with the tower defense, or would you want us to start next week with the actual city builder prototype, you know? It all depends on what you guys are interested in. Hold on, there you go. Yeah, so let me know. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna temporarily turn off the screen while I load up my my actual project, because I want to show you guys a neat thing that I did recently. I'm personally not interested in city builder stuff. Okay, gotcha. Will you show us how to make a grid? I mean, a grid that restrains the places you can occupy with towers. Oh, yeah. I could do that next. Yeah, I could do that. I could also maybe make a few more, um, like, add a few more mechanics to the tower defense. But again, it all depends on what you guys are interested in. So Silver Sterling, for instance, isn't interested in the city builder stuff. Actually, while we're on the topic, like what genre or what things in general would you be interested in learning about silver? Or not just silver, but anybody, right? Like, let me know, guys, if like there are specific mechanics you guys are interested in more so than specific genres, right? So, okay, so right now it's loading. Okay, hold on. Let me just do it like that. Okay. So let me do this. Okay. Texture. Sorry that the screen is black, but just bear with me for a second. Okay, where is it? Oh, hold on. Okay. So let me just prepare this completely. Okay, there you go. Okay, so hold on. Okay, there you go. Now you can see, hopefully. Let me know if you guys are able to see. Black, that's fine. Okay, so this is an example of like a planet in my game, right? Like that. Here you have like the dark side with like the cityscapes and whatnot, right? Like that. Here you have like the actual continental and terrestrial thing, right? And I basically practiced earlier last week, about a week ago, I practiced different ways of creating my own custom planets, right? And so by simply changing a specific texture in the material, I can change the whole layout. See? So now the whole planet's layout has changed, right? Like that. Here we have more of like the dark side, etc., right? With like the cityscapes and whatnot, you know, oh, like that, right? And what's cool is I can also start messing around with stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I want the vegetation to be orange, or red or like purple or blue or cyan or whatever, right? I want the mountains to be black or red or I don't know, yellow or blue or whatever, right? I want the deserts, I don't know, to be red maybe, although we can't really see them that well, you know, maybe green, maybe like whatever, right? So on and so forth, right? I want the deep water to be red, right? It's a sea of blood or whatever, right? The shallow water, I want it to be like a deep blue, for instance, right? Like cool stuff like that, right? Which, by the way, like this is a tool that I'm using. I'm actually going to show you guys which tool I'm using, but the cool thing with this tool is that you can really customize it a lot, basically, right? And so that's kind of what I'm doing. Let me just, hold on, let me close this, like that. Hold on. There you go. All right. There you go. Will you show us how to make a grid? I mean, yeah, so that could be something interesting. There could be a tower that occupies a single space, another occupies two, another four, and so on. Yeah. Just came back. Why the black screen? Where's the sun? Yeah. A third impact. Yeah. I think one of the normals might be backward. The clouds look like they're digging in rather than be higher. That right showed up only. That's right. I showed up only to complain. Yeah, AGT has spoken, Randy. Yeah, well, I can't help it, right? So basically, again, like if we go back to what I was saying in like one of my earliest streams, right? In terms of tools, right? Unity store. Okay, let's click here, like that. I literally just typed like planet or something, and this was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, right? And I started looking around, right? And I looked around at the different planet types and everything, and I ended up settling for this one. Again, they have the URP or the HDRP. I bought the HDRP, right? And literally all of the planets you see here are all of the planets they have available, right? And the one specifically we were looking at was this one, but the texture of the continents was different, right? And so the reason why that is because if you look at this here, so this is the texture they use, right? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And then here, hold on, here are ones where I practiced on like how to make them and stuff like that, right? And then these ones are AI generated, right? So that's why they're like so detailed, right? But the idea is very simple. It's like, and this one is one that I made completely on my own, right? Like I just fucked around and like basically created one on my own just to see how it would work, right? And so the point that I'm making is that like no one likes an asset flip game, right? Like I think we're all in agreement that like asset flip games are just lazy and shitty. In fact, Steam Next Fest is starting tomorrow. Okay, so I might let me know if you'd be interested in a stream about Steam Next. Like me going live and just just telling you what I think of the different games, right? Or maybe it might be a video, I'm not sure. It might be a stream, might be a video, I'm not sure, right? Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a video just because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it tomorrow all at once because tomorrow and the day after I'm gonna be busy. Actually, all week I'm gonna be busy, but I'm gonna Steam Stinkfest. I'll edge. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Also targeting Steam Fest for promotion. Yep. I was kind of trying. I knew it was a tool beforehand. Yeah, but that's the point. It's like, fuck. If only. Hold on. Steam powered. Okay. Actually, let's go into upcoming. Where are they? Where are the upcoming games? Upcoming. I can't read. Holy shit. New and noteworthy top sellers. Upcoming releases. Okay. Let's just literally let's go down and like ignore any AAA game, right? Okay. School 666. School 666 is a 1 to 4 player co-op survival. Blah blah. Loken. I have no idea, so that's definitely not a AAA company. You must escape this endless nightmare. Okay. This looks like an asset flip, 100%. This UI is awful. This is garbage. This just looks weird. Okay. Like, yeah, no. Yeah, no. It's just unappealing, right? Okay, this is just a Where's Waldo. Okay. Yeah, and you have to find the cat. Okay. I don't know what the fuck that means. This also already looks like a kind of asset flippy game. Tech Dan Studio. Are these like Mongolians or something? Follow us. Are these Mongolians? Does it say? Instagram. Let's go look at their Instagram. Or no, they're probably Turks. This is a ripoff of some Japanese movie or something. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I have no idea. But it doesn't look that bad, right? Like it like already it doesn't look like the worst thing in the world. It's just that personally I'm not a fan of these like somewhat realistic type of things, but where like the textures aren't quite there. Like, you know what I mean? It ends up looking more fake than if it was just stylized. You know? I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who feels this way, right? Alright. There you go. Okay. But again, same thing here. Like open world action, not interested. Zombie VR, the moment it's VR, it's trash. That's my opinion. Okay, what is this? Okay, this looks unimpressive. Okay, what really? What is this screenshot, my guy? Wow. What is this? What the fuck am I looking at? What? Bruh. What the fuck is this? What? Yo. Okay. Okay, some kind of like Skyrim FPS type of thing. The UI looks, I don't know. Like, objectively speaking, it looks like it has had some work put into it, but it just, I'm not sure if it fits with the rest, right? I don't know, right? It's not stylized, it's untouched, raw, unedited, meaning generic, yeah. Look, since you're into game dev, I'll watch any game event you cover. The same reason I'd watch Game Sense. Okay, gotcha. It's called Soul Randy. You should look it up. It's an AFK game that blends into Windows UI. Oh my god. Okay. So far, I would say this one is the one that looks the most promising so far, of everything that we've looked, right? Like this actually looks like a game that like people have put some thought into it. The problem is that it also still looks kind of generic, right? Fast-paced roguelite, FPS inspired by Norse mythology. Yeah, but we play as a female character, so fuck that shit. Explore ever-changing levels, fight dangerous enemies, blah blah blah. Creating, I don't know. Heroes of Valor. This looks like it's from a... Okay, so see, this actually looks like a real game. And the reason why I say this is because even though the UI is still fairly minimal and everything, it all, like, it doesn't feel like an asset flip, right? Like, it actually does look like someone took the time to create this UI, no matter how minimalistic it is, right? And the textures, like, again, it's not the most photorealistic, it's not the most detailed stuff, but the art style fits, right? Like the actual 3D models and the textures on them fit with one another, and they fit with the UI, as crazy as it sounds, right? Oh shit. Okay, so let's actually give it a look. Oh. Okay. Wow. So you see, personally, how can I say, I don't think I would necessarily play this game because I'm not sure if I'm the target audience, but it actually doesn't look bad, if that makes sense, right? Like because I don't think I would play this game doesn't necessarily mean I think it's a bad game. Like, you know what I mean? Like this looks like it's an actual game that people who actually cared about making it made it, right? So yeah, honestly, so far I'd say this is the only real game so far that... Oh, I'm not even touching this. Jesus, what the fuck is this?
Adventure.
Oh my god. Okay, so no, this is... No, fuck this. Yeah, this is gross. This is disgusting. Train Valley Origins.
They say.
Okay, Train Valley Origins. Okay. This one doesn't look bad. Because again, the art style matches, the UI matches. It's clearly made like it's a custom made UI. Right? Okay. See? Okay. This is another important thing. Screenshot 1 shows you probably what the core gameplay loop is going to look like, right? Like, so this is probably the thing that you're going to be looking at the most. Number 2, another example. Okay, fair enough. Number 3, oh shit, there's a whole customization thing, and like the train models look good, this looks good, like the art style looks good, you know, information, etc., etc. Okay. Oh, now we see other stuff that's happening, right? Like this looks like the train, not cargo, but like the like train segments or whatever, the wagons are like flying off, stuff like that, right? Okay, now here we have, what is it? Maybe a level builder. I'm not sure, but it looks interesting. Okay, this is just a more zoomed out version of the second screenshot. Okay, another one. Yeah. So again, so far I'd say this game also looks interesting, right? Yeah. The cutest management game about trains, choo-choo, manage increasingly complex railroad, the rich history of railway transport. See, honestly, I'd say this game, yeah, if you like management games and you like trains, I'd say go for it, right? Oh, so you have to make sure they don't collide. Oh. Ooh. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so see? This game I'd say cool. Jesus is playing out the colors. Wait, is that like a tycoon railroad? Hold on. Okay, so this is just budget to Doom. Okay, so it has this, so it's probably a roguelike. Bolgrut the Pestilent. Damn, reminds me of a few people I know in real life. Hold on. Okay, yeah. This could be good, maybe not, but it's not my type of game. But once again, it does look like a game that people actually put effort into, right? So it's not that bad, right? But anyways, all of this to say, right? I could keep going, but fuck that, right? But all of this to say that if you're a solo dev, right, don't feel ashamed of using assets, right? Like this is one of the asset packs that I use, but as I showed you guys, like I'm actually going to modify them a lot, right? So I'm going to use this as a template, but eventually I'm going to start like creating my own templates based off of this, right? So it's not just going to be like a blatant asset flip, right? Number one. And number two, what was it called? Was it Cinti? Was that? Okay, yeah. So this one, I would say don't feel ashamed of using these assets, right? Like I don't know, you want to make some sort of maybe like a dark fantasy game or a sci-fi game or whatever the fuck, right? Like who knows? Yeah, sci-fi space something, right? So you want to make this, but maybe you're just not good at 3D modeling, 3D animation, whatever. Well, you get all of these assets, right? So you can do you can do some decent looking stuff so long as it's fun. I guarantee you, most people are not gonna care about the fact that you're using assets. Now, obviously, it's a little expensive, but if you know for a fact that you're gonna be using this, then go for it. You know what I mean? And also wait for deals like on Black Friday or other such stuff like Boxing Day. They have good deals. Yeah, like sales. You can click here, publisher of the week, new release discounts, let's say. Come on. Yeah. There you go. So now here, instead of $60, it's $30, whatever, right? So yeah. Oh, tower defense. Okay, so this clearly is inspired from Warcraft 3. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, hold on. Looks like it's a traffic sim kind of thing where you can have accidents with the other teams. Although taking 3 days to respawn must kill any hopes for a speedrun. It has god boons ready. The first one was clearly asset flip trash. The other ones had other problems. Yeah. Those stars have aura, cool. Yeah. But yeah, so in general, also always pay attention to this because sometimes it might not be compatible. Like if your game is in HDRP, don't buy an asset that's not compatible, right? But again, like that's just pro tips, you know. But yeah, that's probably gonna be the end of today's stream. I'm gonna next week. I'm wondering, like, do you guys want more tower defense, or do you guys feel like we can start prototyping the city builder thing? You know, because it's up to you guys. Like as I said, like for me, there's no difference, but it all depends on like what you guys are interested in. For next week, right? And also like let me know if there are specific mechanics regardless of game genre that you would be interested in seeing, right? Because basically the city builder prototype that I'm gonna make is kind of gonna be an extension of the tower defense one, because a lot of the mechanics are gonna be similar, except I'm gonna start playing more with the UI is what I'm thinking, you know. So again, like, let me know if that's something that should be interested in seeing, right? Thanks for the stream. I'll see chat in like 10 minutes. I'll see you can move on to the city builder or flesh out the tower defense, but it seems like it's been fleshed out. I'm interested in the grid at least, but whatever others want to see is fine too. Down for whatever, honestly. Okay, so I'm thinking, because hold on, let me go check. Oops. No. View my channel posts. So most people said city builder and then RPG. So what I'm thinking is okay. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna transition next week. We love Randy, do whatever. So next week, I'm thinking we're gonna transition to the city builder, right? And then I have no idea how long that's gonna take. It's probably gonna be fairly quick. Like as I said, right? Like tower defense, city builder, stuff like that. Those are usually very easy genres to make, and especially since like originally before I started working on my sci-fi RTS. Well, it's not an RTS; it's a strategy game. It's more than just an RTS. But before I started working on my sci-fi strategy game, I was actually planning on making a city builder game, right? So next week we're gonna transition to the city builder, and then once we're done, however long that takes, right? Probably a couple of weeks. We're gonna go with the RPG, and however long that takes us, we might do a couple of different types of RPGs, right? But at the end of the day, once we're done with the RPGs, we're probably either gonna do first FPS or horror survival, whatever, right? Like, or maybe both of these at the same time. We'll see, right? The Quebecer has successfully brainwashed us. Until your game comes out and it's not what we want, then we hate it. Yeah. So sounds like a solid plan. All right, so so that's the plan. I think I'm gonna let you guys go. I think I've wasted enough of your time already. And I'll see you guys next week. Stay awesome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up so consistently. I'm still shocked, honestly. And I'll see you guys next week on Saturday. And oh wait, before I do that, let me just link the Discord server. Hold on. There you go. I'm gonna link the Discord server here. Join the Discord server if you haven't. Come on. It's gonna be in the stream chat if you're watching the VOD. Huggy. See you later, Andy and Chaz. Yeah, we hug and kiss around here. Gay and proud. Yeah, it's June, bro. Say it loud and proud. All right. Take care, boys. See you next time. Hug, kiss. Take care.